Oh, I've waited so long for this. Hi! In this video we'll take a closer look at boss names from Bloodborne, and I'll try to do my best to clear up some misinterpretations that might have happened. Standard disclaimers and other things in case it's your first time here. Number 1. Any lore theory I might have is just a theory, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm just having fun here. Number 2. I am not a professional translator, I have never worked in localization. Everything in this video is just my personal opinion. I realize that localization is tough, and it involves deadlines, absence of context, and other various difficulties. The transcriptions I give do not follow all academic rules, and I don't think it's necessary. They're just here to represent the pronunciation in case you're curious. All sources I used for this research will be listed in the description box below, along with all the additional information that I referenced throughout the video, so you can read more if you're interested. There you will also find a link to my original blog post if you want to read it through. As usual, we'll take a look at the original boss name, then analyze the localized version and see how close it is. I'll try to come up with a more accurate version if I can. Father Gascoigne's name is pretty simple, but does contain some curious details. Gascoigne originates from French Gascoigne. It was the name of a province of southwestern France. Maybe this name was chosen to highlight the fact that father is a foreigner. Simpu denotes a priest, mostly Catholic. According to the lore, Gascoigne was not a priest of the Healing Church. It doesn't even have this kind of rank. He came from faraway lands, where he probably attained the title. The most challenging aspect of this research was the fact that the religious terms in Japanese are not easily paired with their English counterparts, and the whole thing with the church and the bishops sometimes turns into a mess. So, in Vicar Amelia's title, Kyoku means parish, a territory that has its own church. This word also can denote a diocese, a bigger district that can have several parishes. Cho is often used in complex words to denote some kind of chief or administrator. Therefore, Amelia is a person in charge of the parish that is Yharnam and the Healing Church. English localization opted for vicar, which literally means vice. These words are related. Vicar is one step below the chief, here meaning the bishop. Seems to fit because Amelia, in some sense, is a vice-bishop after Laurence, just as vicars before her, but you'd be surprised to see what Laurence's name is in Japanese. I don't think that vicar is a good choice, especially when you consider Laurence. Head of the church, or Bishop Amelia, would have been much better in my opinion. Shadow of Yharnam is translated as is, nothing special. In Rom's name, Hakchi is a curious word that contains the kanji chi, meaning stupid, foolish. The word as a whole denotes idiocy, mental retardation, and generally points at some kind of cognitive impairment. English localization chose vacuous when the more accurate word would be idiotic. Vacuous does have the meaning of to demonstrate the lack of intelligence though, so I guess it fits in this sense. Kumo means spider. It consists of spider and spider. At the center of this name is some kind of idiocy, retardation, possibly because Rome was previously a human who became kin. I feel like idiotic or half-witted spider could be a good choice. Anyway, I feel like the localizations of this name could go only downhill from English. In Russian we have something like lazy spider, which is totally not true. The One Reborn is quite simple. Saitan means to be born twice. Just in case, I checked a Japanese dictionary and it says, the being having died is born again in another form. The One Reborn is a literal translation. Pthumerians wanted to be born as great ones and, well, here it is. Looks yuck, to be honest. No mysteries with Micolash. Akumu means nightmare, a bad dream. It is also a popular name for a difficulty in video games, not to be confused with Akuma, demon, literally evil spirit. We've seen the O kanji 1,000 times in Dark Souls. It means king, lord, master of some kind. Host of the Nightmare is great, I love it. Master of the Nightmare would also fit here quite well. Mergo's wet nurse is translated as is, nothing special. In Cleric Beast, Seishokusha means clergyman. Cleric fits well. Before becoming monsters, these people served the church. And Kemono means beast, a kanji used very frequently in Bloodborne. I don't know about you, but I was always confused by the stars and cosmos in Bloodborne. Celestial emissaries, daughter of Cosmos, then Kos, or as some say Cosm. It's kind of a mess, and even more so in Russian localization because for us, Kos and Cosmos start with the same letter. So let's try and decipher all of this cosmic stuff, starting with Celestial Emissary. Seikai literally means star world. It does not, however, equal cosmos. It's a very important thing to keep in mind. Micolash in his dialogue drops a legit Japanese word for cosmos, uchu, and it makes me think that in Bloodborne, cosmos and star world are totally different. It is possible, though, that both these places are planes of existence of the Great Ones. Anyway, here we have this special word to denote a place. Celestial is a good choice. It points at the otherworldly nature of the place and its holiness, and does not mix it up with cosmos, which is extra good. And Shisha denotes messenger, envoy, or emissary. Just keep in mind the word Seikai, star world. We'll need it later. Hoshi means star. It can also denote a planet or any heavenly body, but usually it's just star. Remember Seikai, star world, from the previous boss name. The connection between Ebrietas and emissaries becomes apparent. She is daughter of the star or stars, not cosmos. Musume means daughter. This word also denotes unmarried women and girls. And now, fun fact time. Ebrietas is a genius of skippers. It's a moth butterfly creature. The boss itself is connected to the Lumen Flower Gardens, where the church experiments reside together with Celestial Emissary. When you find the milkweed rune, you can turn your head into a lumen flower. Milkweed is a real-life plant that is eaten by a great number of butterfly larvae, including Ebrietas butterflies. It would have been an awesome theory, but milkweed in Japanese is called naedoko, seedbed or nursery, the same word from the Bed of Chaos in Dark Souls 1. It doesn't add up very smoothly, but it's curious nonetheless. Don't forget that Ebrietas is a Latin word, so chances are there is a modern English word with the same root, and here it is, inebriety. Since inebriety denotes intoxication, we can assume that Ebrietas might be a source of blood for the church and was named Ebrietas because her blood was intoxicating to those who drank it, like any Great One's blood. It's all theories, I know, but I'm personally having a lot of fun. It's incredible. I do this research for one reason only. In a heap of simple translations like wet nurse, I always hope to find something like Ebrietas. Warms my heart. In Blood-Starved Beast, Chi ni kawaita actually means bloodless, devoid of blood. Kawaku means to dry up, to parch, or to be thirsty, and chi means blood. You can say dried up without blood, bloodless. As far as I know, these beasts were flayed, their blood collected until they had no more of it, and then they started spewing poison. Blood-starved is fine, although it might give an incorrect idea of longing for blood because of starvation. In Paarl's name, Kokuzu literally means black beast, so Darkbeast is also good. Nothing too special with the Witch of Hemwick. The word Majo means witch, femininity emphasized. In Dark Souls, all witches were denoted by this word. I thought Logarius would surprise me, but he is no Ebrietas for sure. Junkyosha means martyr. Can't go wrong with this one, this word has literally one meaning. Moving on. So Amygdala is a real word. It denotes one of the two almond-shaped nuclei located within the brain. It takes part in emotional responses, decision-making, memory processes, and is a part of the limbic system. The boss is supposed to be named after that. Another theory suggests that it is named after a type of nutmeg tree, the nut's skin bearing a really creepy resemblance to how the boss looks in the game. Nutmeg is toxic when consumed in excessive amounts and can have psychoactive effects, including hallucinations, paranoia, nausea, and such. It is also important to roll back to the origin of the word. Its Greek predecessor means almond. And now to the fun part. The Japanese word amendozu is not amygdala. Amygdala, meaning the nuclei within the brain, is hantote. The same word is used in the original for the tonsil stone, hantoseki. So, what's amendozu? Turns out that's how you write amendoa in katakana. It's Portuguese for almond. It all fits in really nicely at the end, albeit quite convoluted, and I think both brain nuclei and toxic nutmeg have their place in the lore of Amygdala. If you're unsure why Japanese would take Portuguese words, it's a historical matter actually. Portuguese sailors visited Japan as early as in the 16th century, and Japanese vocabulary adopted many Portuguese words, mainly denoting products they brought in for sale and some of their customs. Nothing exciting in Gehrman's name, it's translated as is the first hunter. Moon presence is complicated. Tsuki means the moon. My favorite kanji, by the way. As for mamono, surprisingly enough, it is a simple word that you can find in any dictionary. It means demon or evil spirit. One of the dictionaries I use says apparition. I imagine this meaning might have been the one chosen by the localization. We know the first kanji, ma, because of the word majo, witch. It points at something evil, demonic, or at someone who practices these things. The second kanji, mono, has the broadest pool of meanings and generally denotes thing. Well, I think the best translation would be evil moon thing, but the localization had to make it all fancy. Just kidding. I really like the presence word here. It conveys the eldritchness of the boss, so great job. In Ludwig's name, there is even a secret word that the localization skipped, but we'll get there. Minikui means ugly, unattractive, or even unclean, generally bad looking. Not sure accursed was the right choice. Kemono means beast, we've seen that one. The English localization skipped this word, and consequently, other localizations derived from it don't know it existed. Unholy Beast Ludwig probably would have been better. The Accursed feels too generic and is not entirely accurate. Every third character here is accursed, and sometimes you even play as one. Back to the vicars again with Laurence. Shodai denotes the founder or representative of the first generation. Well, Laurence founded the healing church, so no surprises here. As we already know, Gyokcho denotes a person in charge of the parish or the church. Amelia is a vicar, Laurence is a vicar, but to whom are they all vicars? Who is their bishop? Who'd have worked with Amelia like she's the second in charge after Laurence, but Laurence is named with exactly the same word? We can assume that they have a completely different hierarchy of priests from the one that we have, but then again, vicar would not be a great analogy. Bishops would be better because those are kind of standalone and do not have binding relations with other ranks. Honestly, I think that the better names would be Amelia, head of the church, and Laurence, founder of the church. Sounds cool, close to the original, very lore, much wow. The word vicar makes it much more difficult than it needs to be. In Living Failures, Shipaisaku means failed creative work, and tachi points at the plurality of the noun. The more accurate translation would be failures, but I guess living failures sounds better. Astral Clocktower, wow! Would have been awesome, but Tokeito just means Clocktower, zero astrality. It is just Maria of the Clocktower. I have nothing against adding lady, the Victorian vibes and everything, but where did Astral come from? Finally, Orphan of Kos, or I should say, Gos. Gosu is Gos. This is what made the whole Cosmos thing so confusing to me. Even when Micolash speaks of her, he says, Gos, or Gosum. I don't know why the letter was changed. If she was Kos, then the original would state Kosu. He is Orphan of Kos. We're done with the boss names, but I have some treats in store. I was really interested in the original word for insight, and then I was pleasantly surprised by the accuracy of the translation. The first kanji, hiraku, means to enlighten, and the second one, mo, denotes ignorance or concealing. Insight is a great choice. Enlightenment would have been too heavy and way too long. I was reading the art book to see if I can find something of note when I stumbled upon the Kanehurst and Annalise section. Vilebloods in Japanese are named Ketsuzoku, literally blood relative. Annalise is Chinojou, blood queen. There is nothing vile in their real name. This offensive nickname was given to them by the executioners. They should be called something like the Blood Kin of Kanehurst. In the name for the Great Ones, Joisha is a curious word consisting of Joi, superior in rank, and Sha, person. Ones who are higher than humans. Great Ones is a good choice. The words used in Dark Souls do trigger me a great deal when I come across them in Bloodborne. Here, with Garden of Eyes, it's all very straightforward though. Tomi means eye, more specifically pupil. The same kanji is used for the eye rune. And Naedoko is the word that triggered me as I was looking through the art book. It was in the name of Bed of Chaos from Dark Souls 1, where we discovered that it's more of nursery or seedbed. Here it can finally realize its botanical potential, the garden where the eyes grow. The same word is used for the milkweed rune. The name that probably intrigued me the most, because the atrocious creature that is called Winter Lantern is kinda suspicious. Hozuki means physalis, also known as Chinese lantern or Japanese lantern, or even winter cherry. I think Winter Lantern is somewhere there too. Physalis is traditionally used as a sedative. In Japan, it is also a part of the Obon festival and is offered to the spirits of the departed. Winter lanterns from Bloodborne do resemble physalis and glow orange, and they infect you with frenzy, which runs against the sedative use of physalis in traditional medicine. This is a wrong physalis, and it will not calm you down. Winter Lantern is weird and raises questions, but it's way better than physalis. What an interesting case. I expected Make Contact to be really exciting, but it's quite trivial. Koshin denotes communication, correspondence, especially wireless, with various signals. Fits well here. Funny that the second kanji means religious faith, but otherwise nothing too special. Fire and bolt paper are called yasuri, which means file or rasp. It's not like paper you put in a printer, but like magical rasp paper for your weapon. Pretty cool. There is some interesting stuff in Madman's knowledge. Kyojin means madman, lunatic, and Chie denotes wisdom, but it is also a Buddhist term describing understanding of the true nature of something, and this understanding is achieved by realization and not by analysis. The item gives +1 to insight, so all fits here quite well. On the other hand, nothing too special in Great One's wisdom. The word Joisha denotes Great Ones, we already know that, and Eichi means wisdom, intelligence. Quite contrary to my expectations, Bloodborne did not turn out to be as mysterious as I thought it would be, and the localization is consistently accurate. Let's see what was great, shall we? Winter Lantern could not really use Chinese or Japanese lantern, and physalis was weird, so they created this sweet name. Moon Presence. The word mamono is kinda tricky to translate while trying to keep the Eldritch horror flair, but they did it. Awesome. However, there are also some things that turned out kinda meh, like Daughter of Cosmos, Kos instead of Gos, all of this. Vicars, those could be easily avoided. Ludwig the Accursed, lost a word there. Well, I hope you enjoyed it because I sure did. Next up, hopefully, we'll have something Sekiro related. I want to know the face of every kanji in that game. If you missed the Dark Souls videos, I'll link them in the description so you can watch those if you're interested. As usual, leave me a comment below if there was something unexpected you learned about any boss in this video. Don't forget to check the description for relevant links and more reading. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.